Alright guys, welcome on back to the channel, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you some easy tips and tricks on how to defeat the Sentinel boss here on the tomb. Now, this boss can be pretty difficult, but there is some cheese methods that we got in the game right now that you guys might want to take advantage of because Treyarch may end up patching these things. Don't worry, if they do that, we're going to have you guys covered as well. We're also going to be using a weapon that actually really surprised me and did really well against the boss here. It's actually one of our new weapons in the game. If you guys are looking for a good loadout to defeat this boss, especially for my solo players, we're going to have you guys covered. But with all that out of the way, if you guys are into zombies content, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys are looking to unlock any of those mastery camos here in Black Ops 6 and you just don't have the time to grind these things out, and I'm talking about Abyss, Nebula, and Dark Matter, then be sure to check out Mitch Cactus. They offer the most reliable services in Call of Duty, including bot lobbies, camo unlocks, or pre-made accounts. So if you are someone that just doesn't have time to game all day and you want to unlock these things, then be sure to check out Mitch Cactus. For a little bit of security, they got thousands of great reviews on Trustpilot, so be sure to head on over to the site and check out any of the deals that they got going on, and be sure to use code REALG for a limited time only. Alright guys, so probably one of the very first things you're going to want to know when coming into the tomb boss fight is what's a good weapon to bring in here. As of right now, from what I can tell from watching other people's gameplay and from experimenting with stuff myself, is that most bullet weapons do okay. I would really try to avoid SMGs and pistols as they don't really do enough DPS against the boss. Most of the ARs, the LMGs, or the shotguns, those are all kind of safe picks. Today I went ahead and chose the Cypher. I wanted to level this thing up a little bit, unlock some camos here in zombies, and I was really surprised on how this thing handled the boss. I usually put the loadouts at the end of the video, but we're going to go ahead and toss this up on the screen right here. You could probably mess around with the attachments a little bit, but I gotta say this AR is a really good pick. And when you come in here to start the boss fight and activate the Sentinel artifact, the boss is gonna have 3 different stages, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this by now, but it's gonna be shooting lasers at you. There's 2 separate floors to this arena, but I gotta say guys, there is really no reason for you to go up top unless you absolutely need ammo. If you got Vulture's 8 on and you're making sure you grab those max ammos in between the phases, you should be alright. Another thing I can advise you guys to bring in here, which one of the zombies ended up dropping for me, is a Casmer grenade. I'm gonna be killing a lot of zombies and elites in here, and they will be dropping you more, so it's going to be really easy to replenish these things. For the first phase, it's going to be really simple. We're just going to stay on the bottom. We're going to stay behind these walls. We're going to be gathering up all the regular zombies that are coming towards us, and then we're going to kill them all with a charge shot with our ice staff. I'm going to be trying to save as much of my ammo as absolutely possible, so that way I'm also prepared and loaded up, so that way whenever I hear the sound cue for the boss, I can immediately go out there and start firing at it. There's a couple things you can do to protect yourself while you're trying to shoot at the artifact. You can take your ice staff and charge it up and shoot at the ground and then shoot at the artifact. The other thing that I like to use is make use of my Casimir grenade, and that'll just make it really easy as well. You will have to do this a total of 3 separate times, but this phase is really easy. Now that we're on to the second phase, a 4th artifact is going to appear, but this one's going to be attaching itself to enemies. Once this does this, these things become like special elite super zombies. This is going to be where some of these cheese methods are going to kind of come in handy. Right now there is a bug in the game where if you have the hand cannon score streak, and when you use the ice staff charged up and you hit the ground with it, if you pull out the hand cannon but you don't use it, the damage from the hand cannon is actually applied to the damage that the ice staff is doing, so that ticking damage is just going to immediately destroy the bosses. This phase is definitely doable without using this cheese method, but it does make it a whole hell of a lot easier, and if you can use it while it's here, you might as well. Now, the first enemy that the artifact is going to attach itself to is going to be a regular zombie. Now this guy's pretty easy to take out with just a regular charge of the ice staff and just shooting him some. So the artifact is just floating in the air, just go ahead and lay a bunch of damage into it until it sucks itself back towards the other ones. So the artifact's going to repeat the same thing, but this time it's going to do it with a doppelgast, and then it's going to do it with an amalgam. Both of these guys are definitely scary because they can one-shot you. You definitely want to keep your distance or be prepared with a charged up ice staff shot. Even one of those Kazis on hand is really going to help as well, because there is so many zombies and elites and everything is going to be rushing you at the same exact time. It just gets incredibly hectic, and those help out a lot. If you guys aren't going to be using the hand cannon glitch right now, what I would advise you guys to do is just freeze the zombies inside of the ice staff area and then run away. You can't actually slide underneath the ice beams. I would go over to the next wall and then just lay into them with your bullet weapon. If you do have some gobblegums, a free fire or a killjoy definitely wouldn't hurt. Like I mentioned before, you just really want to keep your distance from these guys, especially with the amalgam, because they can instantly take you out. And also, if you're not doing the hand cannon thing, you can also bring in a mutant injection, and I would highly advise you guys to use that against the amalgam. But now that the amalgam is dead, I would say the hardest part of the boss fight is done, but now we're on the most crucial point. At this point, all of the artifacts are going to gather outside, and they will all be beaming at one point outside of the arena. You're going to have a limited amount of time, and you're going to need to dump as much damage as you absolutely possibly can with your bullet weapon into that one spot. If you fail to do this in the time that is given, the boss fight will be over, and that is it. To make this part really easy, have one of your Casimirs on hand so that way it can just be sucking up all the zombies while you're just dumping every bit of damage that you can into this thing. You could also use your Ether Shroud as well. I think that would work pretty good. If you did have a free fire gobble gun, this might be the time to use it, just kind of save you on reloading. But that's it, guys. If you guys have done this successfully, you have completed the main quest on the tomb. Now, I gotta admit, guys, this boss fight can be pretty difficult, but once you do it a few times, it's just like any of the other ones, it does become pretty simple. I also think this might be a boss fight that'll be a little bit harder to complete in the larger squads that you have, especially if everybody's not like 100% coordinated. I think some people may find the boss fight a little bit intimidating because of all the lasers and the lights and the insta-kill stuff, and just there's other like these death barriers and things like that. They also give you so much play space, like with the two different levels that you can run around in, and it makes people probably kind of feel like they're supposed to be running around in the area when really you're just gonna kind of be hunkering it down in one area of the map. There really is no reason for you to go up top unless you desperately need ammo. Like, you really need ammo. There is an ammo cache up there for you guys to go get, but it's like almost a guarantee that you're gonna get hit by a laser or by zombies. Let's say you don't get hit by a laser, but you do get hit by a zombie going up to the ammo cache, and if you're on your way back down and if you get hit by a laser, then that's an instant down. Yeah, it's just an absolute mess. I would highly recommend you guys just stay down below. Even when the lasers are at the bottom, you can slide underneath of them. You'll notice probably in the gameplay here, I slid underneath the lasers quite a few times. I would definitely say the hardest part of this Easter egg is going to be dealing with those elite bosses when the artifact attaches to them. With the hand cannon thing in the game right now, this can actually be done pretty relatively easily. Even without it, I'd say if you guys just use your Kazis that you brought in, use your charged up ice staff, and just try to keep your distance a little bit, lay in with your bullet weapon whenever you can. I think the average players to above average players will definitely have no problem doing this. Might be a little bit difficult for the casuals, but I think it gives them something to actually kind of work for. Failing at something and having to reattempt it is definitely nothing to be ashamed at. I failed this boss fight multiple times before I finally succeeded in it. Kind of reminds me of YouTube. Anyways, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy it, please do me a huge favor. Drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if anybody is new. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one.